Hey, Scott Johnston here. I want to read from Acts chapter 4 for a second. It says this in Acts chapter 4, verse 11, Jesus is the stone you builders rejected, which has become the cornerstone. Salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by which we must be saved. The exclusive claim of Jesus has offended other religions, yeah, but it offends even Christians sometimes. Why does this offend us? I believe there's an underlying current throughout our culture that we've adopted into our theology, and it's the belief that sin isn't serious. What is sin, right? Well, first you have to understand there's this idea of shalom. We think of it as peace, but in reality, shalom is the knitting together of God, humanity, and all creation in justice, fulfillment, and delight. That's what the Hebrew prophets called shalom. In the Bible, shalom is the universal flourishing wholeness and delight of being in perfect harmony and fellowship with God. Shalom is the way things ought to be. And we see this in our experience. We long for a world without brokenness. If the universe was just a cobbled together bunch of accidents, there would be no reason for us to long for such a thing. Music, movies, and stories echo this longing. We long for paradise and peace, perfect unity, blessedness, and fellowship with God. Sin, then, is the breaking of shalom, the breaking of the way things ought to be, the breaking of God's design for perfect unity, justice, and fellowship and delight between God, humankind, and creation. If we took sin seriously, if you and I just think about what sin has done to God's perfect, good, and wonderful creation, what we have done to ourselves, how we have knowingly and ignorantly succeeded in corrupting and twisting every good thing in creation, how the world itself has fallen due to our sin, if we truly took in all of that seriously, we wouldn't get offended that there's only one way, only one name by which we must be saved. We'd be astounded that there's a way at all. If we truly cared about justice, we'd be scandalized not by the exclusivity of Jesus as a sacrifice, as atonement, but that God would willingly and lovingly take our place. We're fully guilty of sin and deserving of a just punishment for breaking the universe. By what merit are you and I deserving of salvation? No, it's by God's grace alone that we are offered salvation. By His good name and through Christ alone, His good way. I want to share with you a short story from The Silver Chair. It's a book by C.S. Lewis, a children's book. And in it, Aslan is the Christ figure. And Jill runs into Aslan early in The Silver Chair, and this is the conversation they have. If you're thirsty, you may drink. For a second there, she stared here and there, wondering who had spoken. Then the voice said again, if you are thirsty, come and drink. And she realized that it was the lion speaking. She had seen its lips move this time, and the voice was not like a man's. It was deeper, wilder, and stronger, a sort of heavy golden voice. It did not make her any less frightened than she had been before, but it made her frightened in a rather different way. Are you not thirsty? Said the lion. I'm dying of thirst, said Jill. Then drink, said the lion. Would you mind going away while I do? Said Jill. The lion answered this only by a look and a very low growl, and as Jill gazed at its motionless bulk, she realized she might as well have asked the whole mountain to move aside for her convenience. Will you promise not to do anything to me if I do come? Said Jill. I make no promise, said the lion. Jill was so thirsty now that without noticing it, she had come a step closer. Do you eat girls? She said. I have swallowed up girls and boys, women and men, kings and emperors, cities and realms, said the lion. It didn't say this as if it were boasting, nor as if it were sorry, nor as if it were angry. It just said it. I daren't come and drink, said Jill. Then you will die of thirst, said the lion. Oh dear, said Jill, coming another step nearer. I suppose I must go and look for another stream then. There is no other stream, said the lion. My friends, there is no other stream. There is no other way, but thanks be to God that there is a way, and His name is Jesus Christ. Scripture tells us that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved. And that is very good news for you and I hope it encourages you today.